October 25th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest headlines today, including a Florida couple selling pain pills in Connecticut, illegal dirt bike riding in Shelton, and a pet shop owner's court appearance on animal cruelty charges in Weston. Kevin Coleman joins us today with your Nutmeg Sports Update. Donald Lang will take a look back on this day in history, and we'll also give you a look at the forecast for the week. But first, a Florida couple has been charged with selling pain pills in Connecticut. Deirdre M. Daly, United States Attorney for the District of Connecticut, announced that a federal grand jury in New Haven returned an indictment charging 73-year-old Harry Duran and 53-year-old Sandra Duran, both of Seminole, Florida, with one count of conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute oxycodone. According to allegations made in court, between January 2005 and July 2016, Harry and Sandra Duran obtained prescriptions for medications containing oxycodone from doctors in Connecticut, including Dr. Paul Bellafiore, and then arranged to resell their medications for profit. The Durans, who are married and they are former Connecticut residents. If convicted of the charge in the indictment, the defendants face a maximum term in prison of 20 years and a fine of up to $1 million. And Daniel Copulus, who was arrested for animal cruelty in an animal hoarding case in Weston, was arraigned in Norwalk Superior Court on Monday. Judge Bruce Huddick granted a continuance of the case until Wednesday, November 30th. Appearing with his attorney, Michael Fitzpatrick, Copulus was dressed in a black suit with black and purple shoes and appeared calm during his appearance, according to the Weston Forum. He didn't speak during the hearing and quickly left the courtroom after the judge granted that continuance. Copulus was arrested on Tuesday, October 11th, and charged with animal cruelty. The cruelty charge was based on 224 animals that were taken into custody at his home on 82 Newtown Turnpike back on September 15th. A first offense of animal cruelty is punishable by not more than 1 year in prison or a fine of up to $1,000. And in other news, over 20 pounds of marijuana was seized on I-95 during a traffic stop this week. 25-year-old Betsy Cardoza of Dorchester, Mass. was arrested and faces a number of drug charges after being stopped for speeding. Prior to that stop, Cardoza had been traveling 89 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone, according to state police, and that was in New London into Waterford area on I-95. A strong odor of marijuana in the vehicle and admission from Cardoza to using marijuana earlier led to a search of the vehicle, which yielded about 20.6 pounds of marijuana in separate vacuum-sealed bags. And Norwalk detectives are asking for help identifying a credit card thief. Take a look. The suspect is described as a middle-aged black female with short black hair. The suspect used stolen credit cards to purchase over $500 worth of merchandise in Norwalk and Stamford. Anyone with information is asked to contact detectives at 203-854-3011. And Hearst, Connecticut media reports that Greenwich police investigating a crash into a stone wall on Byram Shore Road near Delavan Avenue late Friday night found more than just vehicle damage, as cops arrested a man without pants, allegedly trying to cover up criminal activity by claiming he'd been robbed of his clothing at gunpoint. Police said they also arrested a fugitive from justice wanted for major felonies near the crash scene. New York State Police were in pursuit of a BMW that was heading north on I-95 around 10 p.m. The car then exited the highway and the vehicle hit a stone wall, according to police. One of the vehicle's occupants stood out when police spotted him about an hour after the crash, as he was observed with no pants or shoes. The pantsless man, later identified as 24-year-old Chad Seegers of Jackson Street in New York City, claimed that he had been robbed at gunpoint. Officers were puzzled as to why Seegers was holding a cell phone and some cash in hand, and why a hypothetical robber would steal pants and shoes but not a phone and cash. 2 occupants in the car were also arrested for giving false names, including one that was wanted on an arrest warrant in Yonkers, New York. And the Shelton community is in search of a man who was recently caught on video illegally riding a dirt bike along the city's walking trails. Shelton's natural resource manager and member of the Conservation Commission, Teresa Gallagher, said the person who filmed the latest rider on the trail wished to be kept anonymous for fear of retaliation. Gallagher said this incident is the most recent to have been reported following a summer filled with similar complaints filed by community members. She said it's important for residents and riders alike to know that all riding of ATVs and dirt bikes is illegal unless it's on their own property or they're in possession of written permission. There have been some noise complaints and one case of a dirt bike rider accidentally trespassing on a resident's driveway because they thought it was part of a walking trail. The trail's entrance has signs stating that ATV and dirt bike riding along the trails is prohibited, and Gallagher said she doesn't feel the need to add more signs because of state law enforcing that rule. And the Connecticut Department of Transportation will be performing emergency nighttime bridge maintenance on Route 34 at the Stevenson Dam Bridge. Motorists can expect closures on Route 34 at the Stevenson Dam Bridge in both directions. The nighttime construction is scheduled to occur from 8 at night to 5 in the morning now through October 29th. DOT will have detours posted. But switching gears now and taking a look at the forecast, it's cold. Mostly sunny today, a high of 56 degrees, but with gusts of wind as high as 30 miles per hour in areas. It's going to be clear and cold tonight, a low of 35 degrees. Wednesday, sunny and only a high of 50 degrees. Wind chill values between 30 and 40 early on in the day. Clouds moving in Wednesday night when we have a low of 37 degrees, and it's going to be a very rainy Thursday, high near 53 degrees. Rain continuing all day and into the night. Friday, things do clear up. It will be partly sunny with a high of 54 degrees. We're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Eng joins us to take a look back on this day in history, and Kevin Coleman has your Nutmeg Sports Update after this. Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Hi, this is Leo Carl from Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan, and you've heard me talk about the Chevy Volt for years. The new model gets 53 miles on EV charge daily, plus 420-mile full range. But don't take my word for it. You need to come in and test drive the Volt yourself. Visit us at 261 Elm Street in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
As you're getting back to your regular schedules, we're excited to get back to doing what we do best, offering you the freshest seasonal fare and all the ingredients for a healthy start to school. So shop Walter Stewart's for everything fresh, from A, apples to Z, zucchini, and from cotton candy grapes to back to nature all natural snack bags. Save you time by stocking all of your favorite back-to-school essentials under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com. At Whip Blow Dry Bar and Salon of Ridgefield, it's all about creating a hassle-free, high-end experience for the entire family. Open 7 days a week, the makeup and hairstyle salon on Governor Street has it all. From color services, men's haircuts with a complimentary microbrew, affordable kids cuts, and more. And our blowout package includes a shampoo, scalp massage, blowout of your choice, and a lipstick application done by a celebrity makeup artist. Download the Whip Salon app to view the styles and book appointments. Get more information at whipsalon.com, 203-442-6444, or find Whip on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. MrHandymanCT.com.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier Network. And we've also reached 1.7 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
We're back on this October 25th edition of Your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and it's time to throw it over to Donna Lang to take a look back on this day in history. Don.
Well, Kate, sometimes I get to read these really uplifting stories of peace and prosperity. Not today, though. We start in 1415, at the height of the 100 Years' War. England, with an army of infantry and archers, defeats a much larger army of French knights in the Battle of Agincourt. Though bows had been used in war for centuries, the English longbow, with its 120-pound draw, meant that trained peasants could kill armored knights from a distance. By the way, the longbow is not used like you see it in the movies. No one, short of Superman, can just pull it back and hold it. To 1938, Archbishop Francis Beckman denounces swing music as a degenerate music system turned loose to gnaw away at the moral fiber of young people, and warning that it would lead to the primrose path to hell. I get the feeling that when the first caveman banged two rocks together, his parents disapproved. 1944, the Battle of Leyte Gulf, the largest battle in naval history, the first kamikaze attack of World War II. That, by the way, is the USS Intrepid, which you can see down in Hell's Kitchen. By this point in the war, the Japanese had fewer planes than the Allies had ships, and the tremendous disparity in military power led to desperate tactics like that. By the end of the war, about 3,800 kamikaze attacks had been carried out. 1 in 5 managed to hit their target. Finally, now we go to 1854, the little-known in America Crimean War, the Battle of Balaclava, for this.
Light Brigade, charge for the guns, he said. Into the valley of death rode the 600. Forward the Light Brigade! Was there a man dismayed? Not though the soldier knew someone had blundered. Theirs not to make reply, theirs not to reason why, theirs but to do and die. Into the valley of death rode the 600.
Perhaps the most famous military miscommunication in history, Lord Raglan had ordered the Light Brigade to prevent the Russians removing captured guns from an overrun Turkish position, but due to miscommunication in the chain of command, the Light Brigade instead charged directly at a different artillery battery, one that was well prepared, well fortified, and nearly 2 miles away. Although the Light Brigade reached the battery, the badly mauled brigade had to retreat immediately. The Tennyson poem, which you just heard, written less than 6 weeks later, overstates the extent of the disaster, but still, 110 out of 660 of the Light Brigade would die, another 162 wounded. The charge of the Light Brigade this day, October 25th, 1854. That is your look back in history, and I'm Don Ling.
All right, really interesting, Don. Thank you. Well, in other news today, more similarities than differences between the two candidates for Connecticut's 4th Congressional District. Democratic incumbent Jim Himes and Republican challenger John Shaben emerged at a debate Sunday evening at Wilton's Clune Center for the Arts. The greatest differences appeared to be in how to preserve Social Security, the immigration status of the Dreamers, the Affordable Care Act, and the greatest challenge facing the next Congress. More subtle differences also came through on gun control, cybersecurity, and climate change. However, the Wilton Bulletin reports that perhaps the most stark difference was exhibited when the candidates were asked about the greatest challenge facing the next Congress. Himes put emphasis on jobs and to encourage that he called for a very significant commitment to our national infrastructure. Noting multi-million-dollar grants Connecticut has received for road and rail upgrades, Himes said he'll continue working to bring more money back to the state and bring its infrastructure into the 21st century. Shaben hit on the central theme of his campaign, which he repeated throughout the evening, and that is returning to greater control over tax money to the states and localities. But you can read a full debate story on that at wiltonbulletin.com. Let's throw it over to Kevin Coleman now for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Kevin.
Thanks, Kate. Last night marked the final day of the regular season for boys soccer. It was an exciting day. We had Greenwich McMahon ending in a 2-2 draw. We had Norwalk blanking St. Joe's by a final score of 6-0. It was New Canaan defeating Wilton 2-1. Ward blanked Staples 2-0. It was Darien 5, Central 3, and Danbury Ludlow ended in a 1-1 draw. Ridgefield on senior night beat Trinity by a final score of 2-0. And finally, in the game of the week, it was a fun one. Trumbull beat Stanford by a final score of 3-2. And now let's take a look at the highlights.
And a good afternoon and maybe a good evening to everyone watching here on the HAN Network. It's boys FCX soccer here. We had the Stanford Black Knights hosting the Trumbull Eagles.
Might have a little bit of magic in that left foot the rest of the way here.
And a big spot for the Black Knights. Playing inside the box, and he'll go in! And the Black Knights will score here in the second half, 1-0. Patrick Tomczak ready to check in. Has a lofting cross inside the box. That one's going to be headed in for a goal. 2-0 Black Knights.
Trumbull just caught completely flat-footed there. A lot of slump shoulders on the Eagles. Stamford had 4 guys back to prevent a counterattack and still were able to get a ball in there that was smashed home for the 2-0 lead.
Lofting cross, can't get in, but it goes right back to Lancia. Looking to get a shot on net. He does! He rips it in! What a goal by Matt Lancia!
Lancia just curving it with a vicious verve there into the lefty, goes far post and just cuts it right in there.
But it's quickly taken away by Yestrepo. Yestrepo, beautiful through ball in for Lancia. Lancia gets through one defender, gets through 2, shot on net. And it is just wide. Connor Hoy, inside! And inside! Connor Hoy, just like that, with 6 minutes to go, ties the game at 2 apiece.
And again, I'll give Lancia all the credit there. He kept the play alive, got the ball inside.
Both teams trying to get the lead here. Big spot for the Trumbull Eagles. Here's Connor Hoy. His shot at a great save by Grubber. Second opportunity. He scores! He scores! Trumbull takes the lead with 35 seconds to go.
Incredible job by Trumbull. For all intents and purposes, completing this comeback. Their bench celebrates wildly over there.
2 left. Ball comes in. Inside the box. Cleared away. Federico Marin has one opportunity in the box, and this one is all over. Trumbull wins 3-2.
Congratulations again to the boys team who, again, great comeback for them against Stamford. Finally, in girls soccer, their regular season ends tonight. Here's a schedule for this evening's games. The 4 o'clock slate will include Darien heading to Bridgeport Central. Then we have Ridgefield heading to Trinity Catholic and New Canaan heading to Wilton. For the 6 o'clock slate, it'll be Fairfield Ludlow heading to Danbury, Brian McMahon heading to Greenwich, and for the 7 o'clock slate, it'll be Stamford at Trumbull, Staples at Fairfield Ward, and St. Joe's at Norwalk. Tune in for Nutmeg Sports at 2 p.m. with myself and Donald Eng. We'll preview the boys' playoff matchup that will start Thursday. That'll do it for your Nutmeg Sports update. Kate, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Kevin. We are going to step out for a break. When we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today on your coffee break after this.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking. To a partner that makes small businesses feel big. Where community comes first. Where high-tech tools go hand in hand with a human touch. Where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver. Where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
1, 2, 3, Abby! You know!
I want to find out how good I am.
Yes, sir! If you relax, you get blown out. Let's get it done! Let's get it done! What can you take advantage of right now? Again, come on!
I can push myself way beyond what you think.
Pressure technique. Bring it back.
Want a new experience in car buying? No aggravation, no confrontation, just answers to all your questions. Scap Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Car buying the way you want it to be. With one of the largest selections of new 2- and 4-door Jeep Wranglers available, we are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Located in Fairfield, Connecticut, we're easy to get to. Just 2.5 miles off the Merritt Parkway, exit 44 via Route 58 South. Save thousands right now during the Jeep Celebration event and Ram Power Days. Ends October 31st.
Washington Prime, now open on Main Street in Georgetown. Come enjoy our relaxed setting, excellent service, award-winning nightly happy hours, and feast on our creative new American cuisine. Connecticut Magazine's winner for Best Steak, Washington Prime of Georgetown.
When it comes to local entertainment, we've got it all.
From movies, local artists, etiquette, and more.
Watch HAN Arts and Leisure with me, Steve Coulter, and our Arts and Leisure editor, Sally Sanders, Mondays at 12:30, right here on the HAN Network.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter, and I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune into Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN Network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
We're back on this Tuesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories that we're following today, including that a Florida couple has been charged with selling pain pills in Connecticut. Deirdre M. Daly, United States Attorney for the District of Connecticut, announced that a federal grand jury in New Haven has returned an indictment charging 73-year-old Harry Duran and 53-year-old Sandra Duran, both of Seminole, Florida, with one count of conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute oxycodone. According to allegations made in court between January 2005 and July 2016, Harry and Sandra Duran obtained prescription pills for medications containing oxycodone from doctors in Connecticut, including Dr. Paul Bellafiore, and then they arranged to resell their medications for their own profit. The Durans are former Connecticut residents. If convicted of the charge in the indictment, those defendants face a maximum term in prison of 20 years and a fine of up to $1 million. And Daniel Copulus, who was arrested for animal cruelty in an animal hoarding case in Weston, was arraigned in Norwalk Superior Court on Monday. Judge Bruce Hurdick granted a continuance of the case until Wednesday, November 30th. Appearing with his attorney, Michael Fitzpatrick, Copulus was dressed in a black suit with black and purple shoes and appeared calm during the appearance, according to the Weston Forum. He didn't speak during the hearing and quickly left the courtroom after the judge granted that continuance. Copulus was arrested on Tuesday, October 11th, and charged with animal cruelty. That cruelty charge was based on 224 animals that were taken into custody at his home on 82 Newtown Turnpike back on September 15th. And over 20 pounds of marijuana was seized during an I-95 traffic stop this week. 25-year-old Betsy Cardoza of Dorchester, Mass. was arrested and faces a number of drug charges after being stopped for speeding. Prior to that stop, police said that Cardoza had been traveling 89 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone through New London into Waterford. A strong odor of marijuana in the vehicle and admission from Cardoza to using marijuana earlier led to a search of the vehicle, which yielded approximately 20.6 pounds of marijuana, which were all in separate vacuum-sealed bags. And Norwalk detectives are asking for help identifying a credit card thief. Take a look. The suspect is described as a middle-aged black female with short black hair. They say she used stolen credit cards to purchase over $500 worth of merchandise in Norwalk and Stamford. Anyone with information is asked to contact detectives at 203-854-3011. And in other news, Bodega Taco Bar in Darien will continue its Dia de los Muertos tradition this year, but the restaurant has also teamed up with the Connecticut chapter of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. That means a portion of the sales from their Mexican-inspired menu will be contributing funds toward granting wishes for children with life-threatening medical conditions. That special menu is available Thursday, October 20th through Wednesday, November 2nd. Also on Thursday, October 27th, it is Make-A-Wish Day at Bodega. Representatives from the organization, which grants a wish every 35 minutes throughout the U.S., changing the lives of children who are battling devastating illnesses, will be on hand to share with customers the work they do and how people can get involved. Bodega will be donating 10% of its special Dia de los Muertos menu sales over the next 2 weeks to that charity. And a group of Ridgefield volunteers stepped up to repair the roof of a veteran. Dennis Zajewski felt the rain drip into his kitchen recently and his downstairs bathroom, and he knew what the leaks meant, that his roof needed to be repaired, but he didn't know who to call on for such a service. But as it turns out, the Bates Farm Road residents had plenty of friends who were willing to help. He is a disabled Vietnam veteran who served tours from 1966 to 1967 and from 1967 to 1968. Ridgefield resident and contractor Chris Hall organized a group of 16 volunteers volunteers to strip the roof and replace it with a new one on Saturday, October 15th. The idea to replace the roof began with Hall and Pete Broughton, who had met Sizewski at the Ancient Mariner years ago. You can get a lot more on that story at theridgefieldpress.com. Switching gears, taking one final look at the forecast. It may be the last day that you can leave your plants outside, as the National Weather Service has issued a freeze warning for tonight. But it is mostly sunny today, a high of 56 degrees. Clear and cold tonight, around 35. Wednesday, sunny and a high of 50 degrees, but wind chill values between 30 and 40 early in the day. Clouds move in on Wednesday night, where we have a low of 37 degrees. And it's going to be a rainy Thursday, and there is a chance to see a few snowflakes in parts of southwestern Connecticut. We'll see what happens. But on Friday, it will be sunny again, high of 54 degrees. Now, we're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break. We do have the Drive with Denise at 12:30, Nutmeg Sports with Kevin at 2. And Kevin, we also have a game today.
We do. We have girls' game of the week. It'll be Staples heading to Fairfield Ward with big playoff implications on the line for Ward. They win, they're in.
Awesome.
Game's at 7 o'clock, by the way.
7 o'clock, so that's going to be great. Thanks so much, Kevin. We're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break, but we'll see you tomorrow at 11.